Welcome to the Bayou City Soccer Podcast. Whether inside or outside the loop, we are talking everything soccer in Houston. Y'all ready? Let's get it. Houston, welcome to another episode of the Bayou City Soccer Podcast. My name is Rudy Segura. So happy that you guys are here joining us. Everybody's trying to trickle in here at 9:05 on a beautiful Monday. I mean, it was a pretty beautiful Monday, but I'm not alone. I am with my original partner in crime here, I guess, at this point, Chris. But how you been, brother? How you been, Chris?
Hello. How's it going? What's up, man? Doing good, man. Just a little sunburn. I probably won't see it on the face, but my whole chest and belly area are just completely red. But no, I'm doing good. Other than that, had a great weekend. So I think, yeah, great. I mean, could have been better, right? A win, but I think a 1-1 is great.
Galveston or Surfside?
We go to Surfside. We don't go to Galveston.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been a minute since I've been to Surfside. I need to go.
It's
go.
nice.
It is nice. I agree. Someone told me of a kind of like a hidden gem, and I'll text it to you later because if not, it's not gonna be a hidden gem anymore. But somewhere in Pasadena that I was like, really? There's that there? So, anyways, Jay Hurtado's super happy you're back. Hey, Chris is back, of course. I was by myself last week. I kept thinking that you were here, but you got busy. Joey has been doing. If anything, y'all need to get on Joey. I don't know what's Joey about. He's living a different life now.
He's a touring musician now.
He's
not touring, but he's almost there.
He's doing stuff. He's definitely doing stuff that have taken his time away from us. So yeah, absolutely. Edson, how are y'all? We're doing good, man. Sad to see that the season ended for you guys down there in RGB. I didn't get to make it to a game, but hopefully next season or when it kicks up again, we gotta make a trip out there, Chris.
Full force, yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah, for sure we'll gotta plan something out.
Yeah, let's make it happen. But nice, man. I'm glad that you were able to do the beach. I was trying to think what the hell did I do? I feel like I didn't do anything specific. I did went to Kima. There's some place down there that I've been going pretty often called Tormenta. It's like a coffee and it says coffee, so everybody thinks it's purely coffee, but the food there is pretty good. It's like a fusion, I guess, like Mexican fusion-ish. Pretty good. And we went out there kind of to hike Tormenta. Yeah.
Tormenta sounds like one of those after-hour clubs.
It really does, right? You're right. Yeah. And then also like why name it Tormenta in Kima? Like, I mean, the storm is coming.
Just a little wild.
A little. But no, yeah, but I was like, man, no, we didn't do anything like specific, but still fun though. Still fun to go out and about. I am missing the beach, and I see your kids. Your kids want to get on camera, man.
Go to bed. Jesus.
That's what it's. It's funny because somebody asked me the other day. It's like, what time you guys? I think I told them like, hey, get on. They're like, what time do you record? I'm like 9. I was like, ooh, and I'm like, well, that's usually the time our kids are asleep.
Yeah.
Mine are still awake somewhere downstairs, like running a mayhem. They don't like summer. They'll be going to bed around 10 p.m. nowadays, like 10, 11.
Summers get wild. Yeah, they get a little bit more freedom, so they take a full advantage of the freedoms of summer.
And they don't understand that like they're gonna suffer as soon as school starts again.
Yes.
So that's on them. Like my daughter asked me like, so when is your vacation? And I was like, I don't have one. I'm still working. I'm still working.
Adults don't have vacation.
No. It's like and if you do, you get lucky taking like a couple days off here and there. But it's like, no, like that's the only thing that I really miss as a kid. Like those long summers, I feel like I should have taken not advantage of them, but like enjoyed them more, right? Because I mean, how many times, you have all the time in the world, right? During like 2.5 months, you don't have any money, you don't have anybody to take anywhere. So a lot of the time you're just there on the couch, right? Or out at a park.
There was no phones back in the day. There was no phones. There was no like, smart TV was either you watch what was there or
and it doesn't seem like that long ago, right? I mean, even like 15, 20 years, like it's changed so much. and we were watching a show. I don't know if you ever watch Duck Dynasty,
Yeah, I've
but
seen it.
they kind of did like a new revival thing. And so in this episode that I was literally just watching with my wife like 2 minutes ago, they're trying to teach the kid how to ride a bike, and like that alone was like, dang, like not kids don't even know how to do that anymore. Like my
That's
kid, and that's
crazy.
what my wife. I looked at her, I'm like, all right, we need to teach our kids how to ride a bike because there's a bike somewhere that have scooters, but it's not like they. Dude, I use that bike for everything. Like, it was like, hey, we need to go to the park, even though it was like
Yeah,
a mile and a half. Me and my brother would get on it, go play soccer,
yeah.
come back, and that was the liberties. If you had a bicycle and you were able to use it,
You were
that got you
free.
to some places.
Yeah,
Exactly, I got you to some places. But if you don't have that, man, you're very limited. And
100%.
yeah, so it's funny, man, just seeing stuff like that. Anyways, hope everybody's doing good. Of course, we always waste a little bit of time talking about life,
In the
five
beginning,
ten
yes.
minutes in to this show. But Chris,
Let's ask the chat. What did you guys do on the weekend? Anything fun that we could be jealous about? Maybe they
yeah,
had better weekends.
keep it PG, man.
Yeah, yeah, of course. If you if you went to a place where stuff happens,
Right.
keep it to yourself.
Yeah, we don't want to know about any. Never mind. I'll go with that. But yeah, let us know. Let us know. We know Edson was out, but doing soccer stuff. Jay Hurtado's in LA. They do crazy stuff there. So we probably don't want to know. Jay Hurtado's Toluca game.
Toluca.
Yeah, that's
Back to
the
back, right? Or I guess two-time
Toluca fans.
champs.
Hey, you know what? Toluca wins against the team that they played against. I'm okay with that. So Edson, we beat Frisco U23.
That's not bad.
Talking. I don't want to talk too much about this, but the last game for North Texas, they came to visit, right,
Yeah.
against Dynamo 2 and Dynamo 2-1. There's a guy number 11 on their team. I can't think of their name at all. And me and David went to the game, and I'm like, man, dude, that dude just looks like rough, like because he has like kind of long hair, but it's kind of falling off. And I think
He
he's like
looks rough.
20. And I'm like, dude, he looks like he already went through like 3 divorces already. Like he's struggling. Well, anyways, right now that he mentioned Frisco U23, this kid scored, like he played on Friday, right, for North Texas,
Uh-huh.
scores 4 goals, and Saturday they give him like, I don't know, maybe 20 minutes, and he like, I think cost the penalty. Anyways, Dallas ended up winning 3-0. But I'm like, see, look, I was just talking about this guy he was their best player by far. You could tell. So, anyways, I'm not gonna be like, you never really hear me give too many props to Dallas, but it was interesting, and I just thought it was kind of funny because that kid probably played, with the U23 at one point too.
He's 22. Samuel Sarver, number
Sarver, there
11.
you go. Yeah, him. So
22
yeah,
years old.
he scored 4 goals on Friday, and then you get a game on Saturday, and help your team win. That's pretty badass. It doesn't really happen that often.
He has a good season. 18 matches, 14 goals, 3
Yeah,
assists.
yeah, and
Not
he's
bad.
I think he's like a winger. I think that he plays more on
Very
the
well.
outside, but he kind of like their number 10. He's legit. Whenever you go out there, and that's one thing to mention, whenever you go out to see like Dynamo 2 and the MLS Next Pro, I think I've enjoyed it even more. I've gone to the last 2 games. I went to the one against North Texas, and I saw the one that, what is it, Minnesota? No, the Whitecaps, Vancouver Whitecaps, that they ended up beating Dynamo 2 4-2, and that was a crazy ending. I mean, it's just fantastic the way those games are and the talent you get to see. So that's one thing that, here in Houston, you have that type of team to go look at if you're a fan of soccer in general. I think I was telling you guys, there's so much business surrounding the sport that we do love, right? But I mean, any team that you follow is a business at the end of the day.
Yep.
And don't get me wrong, like obviously anything like below that, like a Dynamo 2 or MLS Next Pro is still business, but it's still a little bit pure. Like it still has a little bit of that, professional aspect and Sunday night, or Sunday league type of atmosphere in the sense. And I enjoy it. So I think I don't want to say that I'm gonna not go to Dynamo games altogether, but I do enjoy, going to Dynamo 2 more or as of late. So anyways, that's a little plug to them, and we'll talk a little bit about it, that match that I just mentioned about Vancouver later in the episode. But Oh, Hudson said he gave us a shout out. Shot. I can't talk today.
Shout out.
To in the broadcast, man. That's cool, man. I didn't get to watch it live because it was at the same exact time, I believe, as the Philly game. But Chris, tell the people how they can connect with us, man, before we get pushing into this Dynamo news.
Yes, so the website is, as always, BayouCitySoccer.net. That's where you're going to find everything and anything Houston related. That's where we have all the things that we do basically here at Bayou City Soccer. So you can go check us out over there. You can find us on social media at Bayou City Soccer on X, Facebook, Instagram, and Blue Sky. If you are on right now watching us on the YouTube, don't forget to leave a comment, like, subscribe if you haven't yet. We're trying to get to the 500 subscribers. We're really, really close. We're only 11 people away. So tell your mom, tell your friend, tell somebody that you like, hack into their account, follow us on that, subscribe to our channel so we can get to the 500 mark. And if you're listening to us, don't forget to leave a review. Anything good, anything bad, anything that we can improve, anything that you like, anything that you would like us to talk about, or anything that you just have a comment on, jump in on the lives, or if you're watching afterwards, just leave us a comment. So BayouCitySoccer.net, where Houston soccer lives. Check us out.
Yeah, man. Hey, there's nothing better than like you ever go into any social media and you're like, when did I start following this people? I think you're right. I think it's one of my family members just like hitting follow or whatever it is, subscribe to stuff. And I'm like, I've never seen this in my life, but it's pretty dope, So
And now I also plug to ourselves. Don't forget, we also have a Spanish show. So we not only follow the Dynamo, but we follow the Dash on Orange and Blueprints. Shout out to Manny and Diego, and of course, shout out to David and Rudy over there on the Spanish side of things. And Movimiento Naranjas on Thursday. So check us out over there.
Dude,
and tell your Spanish friends.
Yeah, and honestly, I think his words are getting around. David was like, dude, he recorded by himself on Thursday. And he was like, I was only planning to do like maybe 20, 30 minutes. And he's like, people just kept commenting and, being a part of the show. And he's like, he was so happy. He had like about 150 people watching it live. So he's like, with all the news of, whether you're been in or been out or this or that, he's like, people were talking and that's what matters. And so, yeah, no, absolutely. Good shout out there, man, because, yeah, he's been doing a good job with that show. I try to be the co-host, but I told him like, dude, it's your show, do as you please, and so he's being pretty consistent with that for sure. Yeah, Jay says he popped up a little late on Thursday. But yeah, no, it's good, and obviously the guys from Orange and Blueprints that kind of been on a little hiatus. A little bit because of vacation and a little bit because the Dash haven't really been officially playing. There's been a couple friendlies, and the last time we recorded was from Shell Energy Stadium when Raya de Monterrey went out there and they ended up getting embarrassed 4-0. So with that being said, let's get into the topics of today. We do have quite a lot. So yeah, again, feel free to comment, leave any questions or anything on the chat, and we'll get to it as we chug along. But we do have a ton of content, starting with the Vancouver Whitecaps lost 3-0. We won't necessarily get too into it. I think it's already been on social media quite a lot. Yes, crushed by the Canadians. One game, I mean, to kind of like forget. Could not find a starting 11 good picture, but this one will do. Obviously, big thing here was the patch and obviously the shirt that they've been selling as well, with that Texas logo with a heart in the middle, and in regards with everybody in the Hill Country that was affected by those terrible floods. Man, a lot of lives lost. Not just obviously the kids from the camps out there, but just in general, pretty ugly stuff for sure that people are going through. But we continue to pray and give them the best, and I guess encouragement through this really hard things that they're going through for sure. But going into the match, I'll play the highlights here, Chris, and they'll be on the background, and you can kind of dissect as you want, or anything that you want to mention. Let me see if I hit the right one. Yep, this is the right one. So hopefully it doesn't lag too much. It lagged last time. Let me see. So obviously, like not even 4 minutes in,
Yep.
Very good at header and gets, pretty. I mean, I don't
Good
know.
save by Bond, but obviously
Very
the
good save by
rebound
Bond.
not
Bond
as
has
good.
been fantastic, dude. Even like on bad games. I think this game, obviously, he saved a penalty and he had forced saves. I mean, they could have been goals. Pretty good stuff.
Yeah. And this play is specifically kind of sparked also a conversation, a talking point at least, which was the Dorsey versus Andrade, right? A lot of
Right.
people question that move, if Andrade should have started, or why wasn't Dorsey starting? Because I don't
Hmm.
think it was the first game Dorsey didn't start. So a lot of people were just kind of wondering, like, what the heck is going on over there? Why isn't Dorsey starting? He never really gave a reason not to start in a way.
Right.
So it's kind of interesting to not see him in the starting 11. Some people obviously, we talked about rotation, having a midweek game and then a weekend game, a rotation. It's always good. It's not that it's not bad per se. So we thought about that, or what could have been. So, and that could have been a game changer right there.
That should have been the goal, man. I
Yeah.
think that was like, I don't know if you guys watched the LA Galaxy and LAFC match, and like Boanga had something very similar. Actually, it was even more awkward, and he was able to put that in. And Anali needs to finish that for sure, man.
100%. Rebound. Bro, how did that? The fact that they were not able to clear that.
God, and the guy that I didn't want to score more than Brian White was Bell Halter. He's just like he's like especially seeing the Mexico US. Obviously, he was a part of that, and just he has this cocky thing to him, which is good, right? I think you
Yeah.
need it, but whenever you're playing against like somebody that you would think would be able to shut him down, whether it be Arthur or someone else like that, it's like, come on. And silly foul here, obviously.
Yeah. It's crazy how
Very
he split
silly.
both of them right there.
Yeah.
Terrible defending.
Yeah. Andrade, of course, struggling once more. Brian White, you'd think, oh, he got it. But you know what? Bond did something that no one has done in a while and saved a penalty for the Dynamo. But he gives no help. Obviously, it's unfortunate it falls right into Brian White.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, like, I mean, dude, he's doing save after save, as we mentioned. And yeah, that's pretty much it. When it comes to the highlights, there's really not much elsewhere. But yeah, Bond getting a paw on that was pretty good. And here, I'll go ahead and let me see at the stats here. I mean, you look at the stats, man. You know, it's it's pretty even when it comes to the total shots and total shots really.
That's about
Shots
it.
on target, you can see the big difference there. Obviously, big chances. Possession, it was good to see the Dynamo keep possession. However, it didn't really matter, right? And we know this about
Yeah.
soccer. We talk about all the time how this, the FIFA logic, right, Chris?
Yeah. Especially me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
No.
It's like you can get as close as you can. You can keep the
Yeah.
balls when you want. But right there, it's a good breakdown though, because no matter you have so many possession, you only have really 2 shots on target. It's nothing.
Yeah, it's one of those things that I mean, a lot of teams even in the beginning of I think of the season and also last year, like they would give the Dynamo the ball because they knew that they wouldn't shoot from outside the box and they wouldn't like just be able to penetrate into the box. I think now maybe with the fast kid. I
Anali?
don't not yeah, Nali on the left, and maybe Kovalchik that is another player that can break through lines or take people one on one. It's some of those guys that that you have to be careful. And also now with the addition of McGlynn, he can put a ball inside the box or kind of put those in between the lines. It does kind of break those lines of like, oh, the Dynamo are just gonna have the ball around the box and not do much. But I mean, we saw that a lot, right? The Dynamo would control every single game, but there was nothing there of substance because what's the point of holding the ball if you're not going to create anything? So
Yeah.
that's just kind of you know,
Yeah,
what it
Madeline
was.
mentions Bond is the MVP right now, and all Ben could say is we got what we paid for, which is absolutely correct. And then kind of going into the standout and letdown for this match, Bond for sure the standout.
Yeah,
Even though he conceded 3 goals, you look at the quality saves he had, keeping more goals off the back of his net and saving a penalty. He really had no help, man. I mean, the
yeah,
goals that he conceded were like point blank or just, I mean,
yeah,
ricochets, obviously, in that second one. Not a lot he could do when it comes to that. And as far as the letdown, um, it's difficult when they lose like that. And
yeah,
I don't want to continue, like we always kind of reference like FUBMOB, right? And if you're looking at FUBMOB alone, the worst rated was Andrade,
yeah,
which yes, he did struggle. But to me, watching the game, I feel like Pablo Ortiz just continues to struggle, and that this is a game that, that he's brought in to be the starting center back, obviously along Sviachenko or whoever is
yeah,
healthy on the right side, and he just struggles on the simple stuff, like whether it be just clearing the ball, whether it be passing the ball, whether it be controlling the ball, like a lot of the basic stuff that you would think um he could already do at the he's experienced, right? He's 26,
yeah,
27 years old. It's not like he hasn't played a lot of games professionally, but he still struggles. And something that Mikael did in the beginning was struggle a lot with that, right? With the decision
yeah,
making. And once he got it, he got it. And I feel that, granted, we've been spoiled with players like Mikael, with Sviachenko in the back for the last 2.5 seasons, but it's not enough for me. And, you know, Pablo Ortiz, at the end of the day, you're kind of um, doing a, I guess, what would be the word? I guess at the end of the day, like you don't know if they're going to keep him or not, right? Because technically he's on loan, I believe, if I
yeah.
can remember correctly.
I
So
don't know.
it it's one of those that even whatever it is, like you're still auditioning. That's the word I was looking for, to keep this job. Even if you do have a contract or not, it's you could quickly go into the bench for sure, man. But who would be your standout on the letdown for this match, Chris?
I think. I mean, I'm gonna go with the same as you when it comes to the standout. I think obviously Bond has been, what they really wanted. In a goalkeeper, I don't think you can ask for a better goalkeeper in the situation that they were in. I mean, going through two goalkeepers, season already started, and kind of everything that the situation the way that it was, right? And him being available in a way to be able to come in and just plug in real quick. Obviously, it's a goalkeeper position is not as I'm not saying that it's not important, but obviously he doesn't require a lot of work in the way because he's just under the three stakes in a way. He's not a field player, so it's easier for him to get acclimated to the team or whatever it is. It does not help that the center backs are changing every single week. That we don't even have a set pair of center backs. We were obviously talking a lot about this last game with Dustin and the other guys about what Ortiz has been. He's just kind of like a flop, and he whiffs the ball a lot, and just defensively he doesn't give you a lot of confidence. So he maybe was let down, but then also, I mean, not to bash on people that we've been bashing on a lot, but you saw how Orso maybe played this game. It was probably because Brooklyn didn't have one of
Yeah.
his best games either. But I mean, you could say the whole thing about the midfield. I mean,
Well,
McLean
and
didn't
you knew
show up.
rotations were gonna happen for
Yeah, yeah,
sure. I agree.
100%.
They mentioned Ponce being a letdown. I mean, you see his numbers, and yeah, that's not necessarily a bad take by any means.
Yeah, but
He because in the sense that he didn't obviously get that many deliveries, but the deliveries he did get, I'll give you the stats here. He had 18 touches. He played 90 minutes, man. Like he played the whole
yeah.
game, and you only get 18 touches. That's not good, right?
And yeah,
A-
we
And
also talked
and
about Bossy, I think, during that game, how he wasn't too hot and just stuff like that.
shout out, man. If they
We
can
need a
sponsor
sponsorship.
us, yeah, for sure. Actually, I prefer Rambler, the one from Austin, but it's good.
Dang.
I know,
Switching up on us.
I know, it's good stuff. But yeah, you only get 18 touches. Obviously, you get 3 touches inside the box, and you get 3 shots and you miss all of them. So yeah, I could see it. I mean, if the ratio's there, come on, you did get 3 chances, 3 shots hit the net, or let the goalie save it. None of them were accurate enough for that. But Chris, um, that's it. I mean, we're gonna be like Van Olsen and say, dude, guys, I'm tired of talking about Vancouver. I don't want to talk about Vancouver. So let's
But
move in. Yeah,
something
yeah.
to kind of just the last thing to say about Vancouver that it kept being repeated, or it keeps being repeated by Ben Olsen, is the attitude of the players. Bro, like, how many times have they got scored on the first 5 minutes or 10 minutes of the game? Just concentration of coming into games, knowing that you're at home, knowing that you have to be concentrated, and just, putting an effort, in some of these games, and the attitude of the
and I
players.
claimed it to be unacceptable. You can't let a team from Canada come to Houston, Texas, and get points. You can't. Like,
So
I don't.
disrespectful.
You just can't allow that. You aren't allowed for them, a team that is not used to the climate, take that climate to your advantage. Be the one suffocating. Vancouver, right from the get-go, was obviously all, literally on your neck, and they score a goal early, and that's all they need. That opened up the game. They know they were going to chase. They're okay with the Dynamo keeping possession, and the times that they got close enough, that's what we mentioned. I mean, you take the second goal, dude, just shoot the ball. You never know if it's gonna go in, right? And that's one thing that the Dynamo don't necessarily do. Belhalter gets lucky that it deflects off a couple people and it beats Bond. Like, you need stuff like that. Just take those opportunities. Then by then you're already trailing by 2. Silly foul, penalty. I mean, it just got worse and worse as it went, and you felt like the second half they were a little bit better. I think he made substitution that helped some, but some were kind of late as well. But yeah, it's one of those that you moved in and you're like, okay, if you lost against Vancouver, who's, I think at the time they were 3rd in the West, now you're going against Philadelphia, who is 1st in the East, and I believe they're top of the table still.
Yeah, they're the
if
best
I'm not
team in the
mistaken,
West.
right? They're
Well,
the sure supporters.
Not in the West.
And so you kind of expected the same thing to happen, to be like another game that was the team was going to struggle. Obviously, luckily that wasn't the case. It ended up being a 1-1 draw. Finally shows some heart is what I wrote down, but more injuries. That's the only bad thing, right? You lost some key players. Let me see. Yeah, so the starting lineup, there was changes made. You talked about Urso coming in for Brooklyn, Dorsey coming in for Andrade, and that's pretty much it. Oh, Linger for Bossy and
Kovalchik too.
Kovalchik.
Then Ali didn't start.
And Ali was the other one. I was thinking of it. Yeah. And so there was definitely changes. And that's one thing that we have been talking about, the fact that when I say he is Ben Olsen has mentioned how changes need to be happening. And, between the RSL game and the Vancouver, it was exactly copy paste lineup. Yeah. And it wasn't that they played against us our RSL, but I guess, Vancouver saw the RSL game and I'm like, oh, this is easy. We know if they play the same lineup, this is what we're going to do. And that's what they did.
That's right.
And so them doing the 4 changes to a starting lineup, it definitely helped. And Union didn't play their best team. It was a lot of bench players to begin with. But that doesn't matter. If it's a B team, if you want to call it a B team, and the Dynamo couldn't beat a B team, dude, they're still the best team. All those guys on the bench, they want to be, starters. So they upped their game as well. And then eventually they trickled in a lot of the starting players. And the Dynamo, for the most part, did a very good job of shutting them down. Wouldn't you agree, Chris? I know that you were there live watching the game, man.
Yeah, we were out there with Dustin and Dynastats, the newest addition to the club, to our club, not the actual club. Mm-hmm. But yeah, we were out there, chit-chatting, watching the game, and obviously a lot of different impressions. Obviously, they're very more analytical when it comes to numbers and stuff like that. I'm more of a night taste type of guy, so it was just kind of fun to kind of interchange ideas between us that like to talk about the game. But like you said, even though Philadelphia did come in with a B team, quote unquote, I think that they held it down pretty good. And then after in the second half, whenever they started, like you said, putting in all their starters, they did held it together. There were some struggles here and there that maybe could have been addressed. But I think at the end of the day, everybody kind of held it together. I went in there without big expectations. I mean, it was
Yeah.
Philadelphia, but honestly, it does kind of give you like a boost in a way, right? But at the same time,
It has to, but it's the
yeah,
same thing that happened with San Diego, right?
yeah.
You get
But
a
then
big
you're
win,
like, it's so
and
inconsistent, and you're
exactly.
like, I don't know what to expect from this
And
team.
it got into the point. Obviously, we have our article that we, predicting the game. And
Yeah.
honestly, at this point, I'm like, I'm just throwing a crap out there because, like,
You went with a
end up,
4-4.
yeah, I went with a 4-4 draw, thinking, you know what, I just want to see goals, right?
Yeah.
And it's like at this point, Philly hasn't gotten scored more than 3 goals. So hell, this would be the game that they get scored on 4 goals,
Yeah.
and the Dynamo will get a score on 4 goals. So yeah, maybe a little delusional for sure, but I was definitely thinking they'll get a positive result. I just didn't know if it was going to be a win or a loss. And it's one of those that you're right, dude. They're so inconsistent, and whenever you feel like they got it, they don't, and when they don't have it, they got it. It's all over the place. But this is what the MLS kind of provides, right? I mean, the weakest team could be the top team, and vice versa. And it honestly, it doesn't necessarily shock us. We try to do as much as we can to kind of get a guess for the game.
Yeah.
And we try to not always, I mean, we're sitting here and we tell we show the transparency of being as honest as we can see in the game. We don't sit here and say, oh no, the Dynamo are winning 3-0 every single game. Like, no, like that's not realistically what especially a fan should do. But you also can't be completely negative the entire time. Like, they do have gone obviously through patches, but dude, they lost 2 games straight. And if we go back even in the beginning of the season, they lost like 4 games straight, right? I think 3 games, right? Because they lost to Dallas, they lose to Miami, they lose to RSL, and the same thing that happened, of them losing 2 straight. People are already freaking out, and obviously, if they would have lost the third one against Philly, a very good team, then things obviously would continue to be shaking. But it's one of those that let's not be, I don't know, bipolar here or schizophrenic and lose our mind, so quickly and flip switches. But I do have the highlights. I'll play them, and you feel free to keep talking, Chris.
Yeah, let's do it.
And with that, players are in position, and we are set to go. There is the
Man, Philadelphia was such a pressing team. It was crazy to see too.
Yeah.
Like every time the Dynamo would have it, 3 guys would step up and try to get it back.
This
suffocating.
Yeah, this is another literally copy paste to that first goal at Vancouver, and Andrade basically getting his back beat here. Dorsey didn't expect anybody behind him, and Bedoya did a good job of stealing that.
And
also, kind of
let's talk about the celebration.
Yes, I was gonna say.
So
to me, I think that's tacky. Like, I get it. I they want to play it. I was like, oh, we're best friends, dude. Like, that's just an a-hole move, and you know this. And Bedoya has some of that as well. And the way that Jack McGlynn celebrated his goal, obviously, I think the highlights may show that one, not the Bedoya one. I loved it. It was a big old F you Philly without saying F you Philly. It was fantastic. But let me keep playing the highlights, man.
Kovalchik needed to score that.
Kovalchik came in, and I've said this before, and I'm not here to chant the anti-Bossy vibes, but he's just a different player, man. He's just a better player. This one I didn't understand, and even Ben Olsen after the fact was like, okay, so you're calling a foul, and then you say, well, he touched the ball first, and then he took him out. And we've talked about this. You and me are the same, right? I see a penalty or I see a foul. Granted, this one I'm kind of iffy about, but whenever we talk to like Dustin or Joey, they're very like, this is what the rule says. And I'm like, but he touched the ball. And I was like, doesn't matter. Like, he still took out the player. So why isn't it consistent? That's the big thing, right, Chris?
Yeah. On this one, I think Dustin was on the foul train. The thing was that the defender touched the ball first and then he hit the player. But, like Ben said, like, oh, so if you touch the ball first, then it's okay to foul the player, I guess. Like obviously sarcastically. But
No,
yeah, I
because
mean,
we've seen
personally,
a
it should
lot
have
of
been a
plays
foul.
that the
Yeah.
defender gets the ball but takes out the player, and they're like, "Oh,
Yeah.
penalty." And I'm like, "But why? Like he touched the ball. It didn't make sense."
I think it depends, right? It
Then
just
here,
depends.
this is the Jack
this is the
McGlynn
goal.
here.
Well
Very well
executed.
taken penalty, and the Selly was dead on. Obviously, you know, showing. Oh, I guess it didn't show it, but yeah, obviously showing the jersey, kissing the badge. I mean, that means a lot, doesn't it, Chris?
Oh my god! Even though he was offside on that one,
Yeah.
that would have been crazy.
That
But yeah,
one.
no, yeah, and then I like the whole kissing the badge, but the fact that he was like, "I'm here"
Yeah.
type thing, or like, "This is my house." I think a lot of people appreciated that. I mean, because he does feel the love, right? Like, I mean,
This one, this one was to me, it wasn't really a foul, but from the get go, dude, like whether it be intentional or not, that was it was a foul to the guy's head. Like Barlow got an elbow to the face again, whether intentional or not. They finally went back and looked at it, but dude, isn't in the rules that as soon as like there's a head collision or you got to stop the game.
yeah,
Again,
should've.
goes back to the being a little inconsistent. And I hate when they slow the plays this slow. Like, dude, just play it. And there's a better angle. This angle is awful. The other angle showed him getting like just rocketed. And I mean, you saw his head just kind of take a snap back. I was like, ooh, that didn't look good. And Barlow always has concussion
Bro.
problems as well.
Barlow has been hit in the head so many times. I saw him after the game, and I asked him, I was like, "You all right?" He was like, "Yeah, I'm good." I was like,
Yeah.
"You good in the head?" He was like, "Yeah, I'm good. I'm good." I was like, "All right, good." I mean, me personally, I really like Barlow. I think he's a great defender, a great player. Also,
This was
what a
silly.
dumbass,
This was
yeah.
silly. Yeah, that was a silly. That was
That's such a
silly.
dumb
Like
move.
it's a 19-year-old. He's a very talented player. He went and now they like
Egged
bit
him
him
on,
pretty
yeah,
good. Yeah, he just
He did his job.
he did. Yeah,
He was like,
he did.
He did.
And then this one here, you thought it was gonna go in, right?
Bruh, this one you should have seen
It
me on
just
the side.
pop. Yeah, that one was like, oh no.
That one I was like, and like I stayed like this for like 30 seconds, bro. It was because we were like right there, right, like right in front of it.
Yeah.
That one was going in.
Yeah,
Oh
that
my
was.
God. That would have been
that
such
was-
a great like bow at the end of the game.
Yeah, yeah.
would've been
Well, I was. We can dissect it a little. Just talk a little bit more about it. But I was gonna say things that you didn't see was obviously Ponce getting injured. I actually was driving and listening to Cesar Procel and Daniel Mejia on the radio, and they're like, "Oh, it looks like Ponce is asking for a sub," and I'm like, "Dude, it's
Yep.
like 2 minutes in. Like,
Yeah.
what's happened?" And he lasted all the way to like the 35th, 37. But obviously it just was something that he didn't feel comfortable. And then just towards the end, Escobar stepped, kind of it was honestly, there's no news out there. We'll be able to talk to Ben. I believe on Wednesday we get to speak to Ben Olsen about the pre-match for the Galaxy game. So we'll ask that question unless it comes out sooner. But it didn't look good for Escobar, man. He jumps, he lands like directly, and I mean, from what it looked like it could have been his Achilles. I mean, it just looked bad, and he couldn't put any weight on it.
He rolled his ankle. So if you slow down the play, his foot, he like stepped on it like sideways. Like his whole foot was sideways. He just stepped wrong, and I'm pretty sure he's messed up his ankle.
And that's hopefully the
that's
gist
the
of
best
it,
case
right?
scenario. Yeah.
Exactly. Because I mean, because even when you roll your ankle, you can still usually kind of put some weight on it. Him not being to put any weight, and obviously they brought the wheelchair and kind of rolled him out of the field. Yeah. It wasn't fun, and I mean the pictures that our guys took. Ricky did a good job taking pictures for us that game, and you can see it in his face. I mean and Escobar is not one to complain. So that's another thing, right? So it didn't look good. Hopefully that's not the case. Hopefully it just and if he is to play, which I doubt he'll play, he is suspended for next game. Yeah,
Yeah, the blessing in disguise.
yeah. So if you
Wow.
guys don't know, suspensions kind of work when you accumulate a lot of yellow cards, and Escobar catches them all. He loves to catch them all.
Boy, and the thing about next game against Galaxy is going to be interesting because Dorsey and Escobar are going to be out for yellow card accumulation.
Really?
Oh, actually, I'm tripping.
No,
Yeah.
Dorsey just
No, yeah.
no.
both of-
Dorsey just got it.
What do you mean?
Ju-
Just got it.
Yeah, he just served.
No,
I
no,
don't think.
no.
I don't think.
No,
Well,
because
anyways,
we were talking about it.
you
with,
think?
with
okay.
Dustin and you know Dustin keeps up with all that crap.
Yeah, because I looked at
Uh,
FubMob and FubMob only showed Escobar too, because it did count it. But maybe you're. I mean, you
No,
may
because
be right. If it
well,
is,
the reason
that
I'm saying is
sucks.
because we had a
That
whole
sucks.
conversation about what is a starting lineup gonna look like. So
Yeah, that's
it
true.
might be well, I don't know, Holmes or Andrade.
See,
Obviously
Madeline
Barlow,
said Dorsey was
Ortiz.
just out with yellow card. I thought so too. I thought he had just served a couple. That's when he lost his starting job
I don't
that
know.
he was serving.
Here,
But
let's hit up live here on the thing. We're gonna hit
yeah,
up Dustin because
see if
he's the one
he
that
see if he
keeps.
replies. Because I only saw Escobar, so obviously it sucks. Jojo says I think Escobar will be back after Leagues Cup. Man, like I said,
is-
I mean, it all depends how big the injury was. Hopefully, it's not the case. But yeah, it's unfortunate for him. He's by far one of the best players. Yeah, I think it was St. Louis. I think you're right, Madeline. I'm with you. I feel like he just served, so I don't think there's been any. He was on the bench for one, didn't even play, and then the other one he came in. So I don't think he has enough yellow cards. But who knows? I mean,
I don't know.
those
I might
guys
be tripping,
love.
but like I said, we were having a whole conversation
Yeah.
about who the starting for what the starting line would be like.
Well, okay, if it's the
Okay.
case.
No, he said just Escobar. Okay, then.
Oh yeah, okay. So yeah, it's just Escobar. But that's what so at this point it doesn't matter because in the sense of like I guess it'd be plug and play, right? You
Yeah.
applied Andrade there. Like that's
Exactly.
unless something else is, injury wise on that defensive line, that's who you go with for sure.
Yeah.
Dago, he's talked about we don't know that signing. Yeah, that signing doesn't exist
I don't know
yet.
what you're talking about.
Yeah, we don't know of any Czech players out here other than
we asked around and we didn't get a confirm nor deny, so we don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, you can touch on that. Obviously, kind of really odd that they're bringing in a player. First of all, a defender. That he's a center back. He's shorter than me. I don't know if that's necessarily a bad thing. There used to be a really short Colombian. You remember that guy? I forgot his name. I thought he played for Boca. Maybe not. He for sure played for Inter Milan.
You're talking about Chileno. You talking about El Pitbull?
Oh, Gary too. Yeah, that guy was
Gary,
little.
Gary Medel?
Oh my God, what's his name? I'm gonna have to look for it. Oh my God! All right,
For
keep
Boca,
talking.
a short
Cordova. Somebody. Oh, good job. There you
Cordova.
go. Fire
Cordova.
at will, man. Good job, dude. Good job. It was
for
Cordova.
Boca.
No. He didn't play for
Oh,
Boca.
okay,
He didn't play
okay.
for Boca. I said I thought he played for Boca, but I think he
No.
may have played in no, maybe not. But I know he played for Inter Milan. But anyways,
Fire at will let us know.
Cordova was great. Yes, I mean, not as short as Cordova. I think Cordova was like 5'7", 5'6". He was legit. I mean, kind of like Fabian Cannavaro, I guess. He was also a little guy that plays center
That's
back.
true. Yeah, he wasn't too big.
He was like 5'9".
Pujol wasn't that
Anyways,
big either, was he?
who
Or am I
was?
tripping? Pujol?
Pujol wasn't that big. No,
Nah.
yeah, he was
He's
maybe like
tough.
5'10". Oh, I love
Yeah.
that, the guy, dude. Okay, I don't want to get too much into Barcelona, but when all that talk of that one of the first, I think it was the first match in the Champions League, who was gonna shove Ronaldo down? Like it was just a talk. There's no way Pujol can handle Ronaldo, dude. Lock it up. Yeah, Ivan Cordova is the guy that I'm thinking.
Damn,
And
that
he
doesn't ring
says,
a bell at all.
I think he did play for Boca, so that's
Terrible.
crazy. We're gonna have to look it up. Yeah, Ivan Cordova. Man, good job, Fire.
Wait, what? Yeah, I'm gonna have to look it up because I don't. The only Cordova I know that is Colombian that played at Boca was the goalkeeper.
Let's see.
But I might be tripping.
We're
there was
tripping
a
with
guy-
Fire. No, he didn't play. He played with
Okay.
Atlético Nacional. He played
Oof.
with San Lorenzo. That's who.
That makes
it
me feel
was.
better.
Yeah, and Inter Milan. So yeah,
what Boca
I knew that he played for in Argentina, but I couldn't remember the team, and I knew
Yeah.
for sure Inter Milan. But anyways, so those type of guys, they don't really exist anymore. Small little defenders,
No, now you're looking
center
for,
backs. I mean,
for
now
physical.
yeah,
athletic
everybody's
guys.
looking for a Materazzi. Yeah, Cordova was 5'8". So he
That's
he was he
crazy.
was a little center back. You don't really see little guys.
Hey,
They've been pushed
all
out.
love to the 5'8" people out there.
Yeah, the 5'8" guys are now fullbacks. They're not really center
Right?
backs.
Yeah, that's
You
true.
get moved to a fullback. So it's like
You
that's
run now.
yeah, that's the way they go. But yeah, just going to the Czech guy that has not officially been
Signed.
obviously confirmed by the team. His agent, what an agent. I mean, put it all out there, man. I mean, he probably throws
we need the
social
soundboard.
security, credit card numbers, everything. Just ask him. He'll throw it out there, man. But no, interesting that they get yet again another injured guy. That's a little bit concerning. Not that they're building for the future by any means, but a lot of guys that they're bringing in that obviously aren't clicking, like Toyosi.
Yeah.
Holmes took forever to get involved, but you
He
can
looked
tell
good.
that
He good.
he is a bit he's good. It took him a while, obviously, to just get fit and into implemented into the team, and so far he's impressed. To be honest, yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah, he
Yeah,
was
the
there on
player has
Wednesday
been-
because
yeah,
we
so-
saw we saw pictures out there too.
It's funny how like obviously you guys don't know like the people in the backstage of the club. Only the people in the media would know who we're talking about. But it's funny how like when we ask them, it's like, bro, we saw a picture of the guy with
Yeah.
Pad and Asher. It's okay,
Yeah.
you can say yes. But obviously,
Yeah.
they try to be professional until nothing is announced. They
No,
won't
the
say a
best
thing,
ones
but
are Ben, right? Because when he gets asked and
Yeah.
he'll tell you.
He's like,
And he's like, "Oh wait,"
shoot."
and he'll look at Jack or Leo and be like, "Wait, was I not supposed? Wait, I thought they knew." Like it's those are the best ones, to be honest.
It's
So
like, wait, we didn't tell him already?
I'm sure someone will ask on Wednesday and he'll confirm it or deny it, type of thing.
That's funny. Dago says, I mean, the sponsorship with MD Anderson kind of does, win great. They're getting a bunch of injured players and sending them to Anderson
Yeah,
to
no,
kind of get some help out there.
it's crazy. But going, let me put the Philly stats. Yeah, so again, Dynamo did a good job of keeping possession, 60% over 40. They did have a good amount of chances. Obviously, people don't like to hear that when Ben says, we've had so many opportunities, we just can't score them, right? And it's right.
true,
I mean,
though.
he's not lying.
It's true, though.
Like the opportunities, the scheme that he's going about most of the time, it's like, dude, why can't they put them away? To me, the team does look better. They definitely look, like there's a fire in them. Whether it be technically, I guess it could have been ignited by McGlynn, because McGlynn was out there. He was feeling himself. He was defending. He was pushing. He was dribbling.
I mean, playing against your ex team, it does give you a boost.
Yeah, especially when they trade you in your sleep, man. That's not fun either.
Right.
Basically. So, which actually talking about McGlynn, I don't know if you guys already went and checked out the interview we had with him
by the way.
Before the game on Saturday. So obviously backtracks to kind of leading up to that game. So feel free to check it out either way. We get I like talking to McGlynn. He's for his age, he's very like, I don't know, very good with his words and
Very
very direct. And so you try to get as much info as you can, right? And make them laugh and giggle and try to, it's one of those that at the end of the day, we want the players, not for us to kind of like get to know them specifically. Obviously, like we're the ones talking to them, but we want people to get to know them, kind of, because at the end of the day, man, like the fans are the ones that kind of want to get to know the players. And so it's fun to kind of just not just talk about the game. You need to kind of push a little bit out there. But anyways, or Chris, you have a face?
Yeah, no, yeah, because I'm reading the chat, right? So somebody asked us about Olusanya, so I'm gonna ask you that first. What do you think about him, and what do you think? Why is he not playing? And then the second one, let me answer real quick. Downstairs, we don't know. He's not on an injury list. He's not on a game day roster.
Yeah.
As far as we know, he has been taken up by aliens, and that's what we got.
Well, and the stairs one is fun. It's interesting because, like, on social media, I think I told you guys that he posted like, "Oh, time finally back," and I'm like, bro, he's been injured. No one said nothing. Like, what's happening here? Because he was a staple, right? I mean, he's a veteran guy that we love him, right? Anywhere you tell him to play, he's very good for the most part,
Yeah.
right? I
I
mean,
mean, he's played what, right back, left back, center back,
dude,
whatever back.
striker. I mean, he
Yeah,
scored a
he'll
goal
score on
against the
you. Yeah,
Galaxy last year.
he'll do
Yeah,
it
no,
all.
he's one of my favorite players for sure. I don't say that often enough here,
And
but
it's crazy because I mean Ben keeps talking about the non depth of center backs.
yeah.
Having to play out with Desu, having to rotate with
Yeah, he says he
Barlow and
only
this
has
and
three
that.
center backs, right?
Yeah,
He only has
yeah,
three center backs,
yeah. They
like
literally,
legit center
yeah.
backs.
That's what he
Yeah,
said. He didn't. Obviously,
he
he
said
said
he had
Van,
Femi.
Ortiz, and
Yeah, he didn't even know. He just said Ethan, Ortiz, and Femi. He's like, that's
yeah,
all I have. So
yeah,
exactly what's going on with the other guys? Obviously, we know some of the other players, and he mentioned like some of the other players have played or can play, but those aren't in my depth chart. So
yeah.
yeah, it's interesting, and yeah, man, Dan got kidnapped. That's so funny. And then Toyosi, dude, Toyosi's been interesting because he was kind of not necessarily hyped up by any means, but he was brought in after basically Ibrahim like left and he walked in, right? It was one of those
Yeah.
like, I'll see you later, bro,
You
and then this
switched.
guy come in, yeah, just like tag you're it, and I don't know if Toyosi is a very direct player. He's a guy that you just need to bring him in the counter. And he is a 1-2 touch guy, and then the next, one is it's a goal basically, or towards a goal. And I don't know if the type of scheme that the Dynamo play is holding possession. They're not going to sit there and play it up there, but
Yeah,
I don't think
true.
they haven't found themselves in that correct I guess application as we saw last year with like Brad Smith, right? Brad Smith would come in purely to use his speed. Man, welcome to the show. Jaden, welcome to the show. Giancarlos, thanks for interacting here with us. He says let's see, Jaden says if Olusanya doesn't play on Friday, something's definitely fishy.
But let me throw this out there because in this past game we saw, I think it was this game, we saw all the camps, right? All the center
Mhm.
attacking mids. We saw Lingard, we saw Kovalchik, we saw who else? Name me another one.
Did Bassi stay on the
Uh,
bench? I think Bassi stayed on the
Holmes,
bench.
I think, played
Yes.
like
Yeah, Holmes came
there
in.
was there was a point that whenever what's his face came out, Ponce came
Ponce.
out, there was no striker.
Yeah.
We had no striker, like a set,
And we
like
have seen that
under
before, right?
title striker.
For
Yeah.
how long did we not see Kovalchik play as a false nine? And we're like, do we need a false? I mean, he scored a couple bangers. So Duenas came in. That's another guy that's
Yeah,
also
that's another
has
guy that
been
made
playing.
the team.
So yeah, I mean, it's just been crazy, man. We're 50 minutes in, bro, and we still have like
I feel
30
like
more minutes to talk about. So this is gonna be a long show for
stay,
sure.
Stay tuned, guys.
But it's okay. There's a lot of games, and it's fine. It's fine. But let's start pushing it towards the Galaxy game, Chris. But like anything that you're still thinking about overall, because obviously we're kind of discussed the Philly game. But I guess to close out the Philly game, good point, right? Obviously you won all three, but if you don't lose against the top team, that's always a positive thing. And obviously the team changing, the mentality and, showing more fire. It's fine. It's fine. And yeah, Lingard can definitely play as a 9. It'd be more of a false 9. But going into the third and final regular season, match in this 3 Homestead for the Dynamo, they really need a victory. That's why can Houston pick up a victory in this last game, because they have a draw and a loss, obviously. So you need 3 points. You need to, get as many here. They'll be playing on Friday, 7:30 p.m. against LA Galaxy, the current champs, who are just trying to find a way. We know how Ricky Pooch was like their engine, their motor, and without him, they've been pretty lost. Plus, they dismantled a lot of their team, but they still have guys like Peck, guys like Pencil. They can definitely come in and change the game for you guys. Their current form, they beat DC United, who doesn't beat DC United, at this point. But
I mean, at this point, we're turning into DC United.
Hey, nah.
I'm just saying.
There's a lot of connections here with Ben Olsen at the helm.
I'm just saying.
They LA Galaxy beat DC 2-1. Then that was at home, and then at home, Austin beat them 2-1. And then just this past weekend, they were down at one point like 3-1 against LAFC. Their rivals, the big El Tráfico,
Yeah.
and they came back to tie it up 3-3 with
was crazy.
their captain and center back scoring that last goal in like the 90 something minutes. So impressive for them to get back in it. Their last starting lineup is as follows: Mikovic at goalkeeper, Jamin right back. Yoshida was the one that scored that goal. Garces on that's the Boca guy. No,
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 we
right?
don't. No,
No, he's like we don't know. We don't claim him.
no, I don't
Uh,
know that guy.
Rose is trying to find his place. I mean, he's being asked to play more central, like attacking, which he's obviously never really played. He was usually out as like a right forward, which that doesn't really happen anymore, right? Like a left and a right forward, kind of like a two striker pair.
No,
It's not a thing anymore.
no.
Sanabria, Gabriel Peck, Nacimiento, Pencil was your starting lineup against LAFC.
They have some
Not a
decent
bad lineup.
names.
They have very good players
Yeah.
still, man. I
It's
mean,
it's weird that they're as bad as they have been.
yep. All right, man. So let's go with your own
Alright.
divination for this game. I know you're ready, and
Yeah.
okay. Let's go. Let's put this on the chat as well, man. Let us know. You guys
Yes.
think, like, for sure? You think they get this win? You think the Dynamo can get a win? 3 games, right?
I don't think
That's
you can use the words for sure.
for
Like,
sure.
is
Yeah.
it maybe will they win?
I mean,
I don't know.
it's
I
one
mean,
of.
it's a lot of man.
I
It's
thought
so
they
hard
were
to
gonna
predict, bro.
I thought for sure they were gonna beat Montreal, and what happened there?
Well, we
Like
thought
for the
Vancouver
love
is
of
gonna be
Jesus.
easier.
No,
We thought we were gonna get smacked by Philadelphia.
yeah.
Nothing makes sense with this Houston Dynamo.
It
this year,
doesn't.
honestly.
It
just-
doesn't.
there's so many factors. Also, the fact that injuries. Because we I don't know. There's so many things that we blame. Like we blame, or not we, but we as a collective
Yeah.
of Dynamo people. People blame Pad. People blame Asher. People blame Ben Olsen. People blame this guy. People, everybody's just throwing blame everywhere, right? But there's so many different factors that play into building a team, building a roster. I mean, the fact that you have a dude that just came out of Europe in Ortiz that had to play with, apparently he was coming to play with Eric Shevchenko, and then he's not
Mhm.
playing. So now Barlow has
Right.
to step in, and he's stepping in over a guy that was not an amateur, but a guy that was in his first year. Sorry, I didn't mean amateur. I meant his first year, a rookie. That's what I meant. A guy that was a rookie. So then you have a guy like Barlow who had a couple of years under his belt now get beat by a rookie. So obviously his confidence probably went down. And then now he's going to get the confidence back. So he has to stay positive. And then you have somebody like Dorsey, and then Andrade comes in to fight for a spot. There's so many factors and changes that I feel like a lot of people, obviously you see starting lineups, you see players. I mean, me too. Sometimes I'm like, hey, you get paid to play, win. It's easy to say like that, but when you think about all the factors that go into play, if you're Ponce and you don't have nobody to, feed you, and you had McGlynn going for international duty, when you have players like Bassi that, some games he's good and, he'll give you a good pass inside of the box, but then nobody will score. And then you have games where Bassi is just not existent. So consistency, I think, is the problem in this team, and this year specifically. Nothing has been consistent from the coaching staff, in my opinion, from the signings to injuries to like lineups, and I think that's just the key word. Nothing has been consistent, and you can kind of see it in the results. You go to San Diego, you beat San Diego being one of the best teams in the West in a 4-3 game, and then you lose to, like, I don't know, a bad team in Houston.
Montreal.
Yeah, exactly. And then you go to Salt Lake and you put a good fight and you lose 1-0, but it's like, you're like, man, you know what? I have faith in this team.
Yeah.
Salt Lake is a tough team. And then you're like, well, we're going to get wrecked by Philly. And then you put up a fight with Philly, And
I think
it makes no sense, right?
It doesn't make a sense, but it's funny that people are like so quick to be like, all right, we need to restart all over. Like, and that's another completely different topic. And but no, you can't. And I don't think it's time for like a Ben Olsen to be out by any means. And that's one of the talks that we keep hearing. But it's like, dude, the season. If some people were out there, after the Vancouver game, talking like the season had ended and it was done and dusted. It's like,
No,
dude,
yeah,
there's still like 11, 10 games to play. Like, there's still 30 points out there, and you're
yeah.
barely, you're just out of the playoff contention at that point,
Yeah,
Chris.
and I'm one of those. I'm one of those. I'm one of those because I live in a constant state of in between. Because on one side of the coin, I'm like, bro, like they have to win. They have to consistently win and stuff like that. Obviously, they maybe lose 2 games in a row, and then you tie one game, and you're like, well, we're only 3 points away from a playoff spot, and you're like, yeah, and then you just kind of start measuring, where can you be content. Because one thing is obviously being content is making it to the playoffs because the playoffs is a whole different tournament. But then also when you make the playoffs, it's not that big of a deal in the sense that more than 50% of the league makes it to the playoffs.
Right.
So it's like you don't even have to be good. We were talking about it yesterday or at the game that Atlanta. This is the irony of the MLS, right? The MLS is
all the
weird.
money they've thrown in there.
It's just weird. Atlanta went in with a record of 10, 10, and 14. They went with a losing record into the playoffs, and then they beat Miami in the first round. So you're like, and Miami was supposed to be one of those teams that was going to win it all, right? So that's where the league makes no sense. And I always say,
and then you take Atlanta this year, right? Like last year they had a good season. They had they didn't have the best players. So what do? They go out and like throw like I don't know 20, 30 million on new players, and they are awful. I mean, they're just bad. So it's interesting because this is not a La Liga type of league. Of course, it's not a 2 horse race. Very EPL-ish in the sense that anybody can beat anybody. But even, I mean, come on, even Mikel Arteta doesn't get fired. He can't win. He continues to choke. Yeah. So my point is, it hasn't even happened. Like, I mean, we can't change the league. The league is said how it is. If it's telling you that this amount of teams can make it into the playoffs, that's how it is. So at the end of the day, you're building you're taking every game at a time because you can. It's okay. Not that it's okay to go and lose by any means. They want to win every game, but at the end of the day, if you lost or draw, it's not over yet. It's not over till mathematically you're out of that line. And I think at this point, with 10 games remaining, you still in contention to make it into the playoffs.
That's the hard part about being an MLS fan as a whole, right? Because you are so accustomed to the rest of the world, right? The rest of the world is you're either good or you're bad. Like there's really no in between in a way, right? If you watch the Premier League, you either win the Premier League or you're one of the top 5 to make it into the.
Dago mentioned it too, 30 million for Austin. Yeah, and obviously Brandon Vasquez is out for the season now. He struggled to score goals, and the other 2 strikers aren't even doing that great either. So it doesn't matter, how much you throw in. If the results aren't there, they're not there. But yeah, you're right, Chris. I mean, people are gonna always compare it to other leagues and other, but you can't. You can't. I mean, we joke around like in your case, right? As a Boca fan, you see them like beating everybody and they lose to like their rival River Plate, and then everybody has to go. It's like, nope, fire the coach, fire this, everybody bench this players, it's radical. And that's also not a good way. But it has to be.
In those leagues, it has to be because it's very game by game basis and every single point counts. Right. I'm not saying that it doesn't count here, but on this league, you get to be more lenient,
but it's also the fact that the only people that tend to win are the same people. So if
it depends on the league, it depends on the league.
No. But I'm saying in some of the other stuff, it's like it's always like it's only 2 or 3 teams that are gonna win, right? It's rare. Like obviously, like the Argentinian league just got a brand new champion that had never won it or won it.
And it's funny because the Argentinian league this year adopted the freaking playoff thing. So it's the same thing as the MLS. The team that won it wasn't. I mean, you can say it was the best team, but technically it was the team that won.
Let's we'll continue on, but definitely need to touch on this one because I think it's true, and I think this one you'll like. Madeline mentions about obviously just broke the record for most home losses. Shouldn't have some pressure put on his job. I think he should. I think he should. But I do think also that the leash is a little longer because it hasn't ended. Exactly. But exactly. You made the playoffs. You've gotten the most points, in those 2 times. You've gotten the U.S. Open Cup. There is pressure, but to me, like the pressure is closer to like you get mathematically eliminated from a competition. And if you guys remember, I think Ben is under contract for this year and next year. His contract ends in 2026, if I'm not mistaken. So, eventually could decide not to extend it or just decide to move away. But it goes hand to hand because we talk about like Pat, and Pat hasn't done a good job. And man, I keep going back to going. Okay, Chris, you know what? Let me keep going, and then we'll come back to it. Let's make time.
Yeah,
So obviously, the All-Star game as well is happening. If this would play here, All-Star games is happening today, tomorrow, and Wednesday. The one that matters, well, the skill challenge is tomorrow, as well as the goalkeeper war. So there is Pedro Cruz. And today, right now, I guess the game probably ended already. Daniel Barrett, a guy from D2, was also a part of that competition. So those are the 2 Dynamo guys or Houston guys repping for the Dynamo. The All-Star game, it's on Wednesday. So if you guys are Liga MX fan and MLS fans, you will love it. Of course, there's no dog in the fight for Houston as none of the players were there. But the mascot's there. Diesel, you may catch him on the – I don't know what the hell they're going to have him doing, but he's going to be out there. Is
Messi not going to the All-Star game?
I don't think so. I started seeing some late replacements, so maybe he just, he may be there – obviously, because he has to make an appearance, but yeah, he may not be playing. I didn't see him on the. Yeah, he's not on the skill challenge either. And then let me see. Okay, and then Leagues Cup. Apart from Leagues Cup, obviously next week starts Leagues Cup for the Dynamo, starting with Tigres on Tuesday, 8 p.m. Shell Energy Stadium. Mazatlan would be on Friday. August 1st on Friday at 7:30, Shell Energy Stadium, and then Pachuca on the Tuesday after that, August 5th, 7:30 p.m., Shell Energy Stadium. So there's a lot of games for Dynamo at Shell Energy Stadium. And then there's one more, which I think it's America in Minnesota. That'd be a game that'd be hosted at Shell Energy Stadium. I did not.
Saturday, I think.
Yeah, I think it's that Saturday. Yeah, because it's Tuesday, Friday. Yeah, that's right. It's either, I think. And then D2 news, we'll finish off with that. Houston Dynamo, they fall 4-2 to Vancouver Whitecaps. And then their next game is actually Friday, same exact time as the Houston Dynamo versus Galaxy game. They're playing in Austin at Palmer Field. So that's all the news we have for the week. One thing that I want to touch on, and man, look at that, is 107. I don't want to spend too much time on this, Chris, but because I feel sometimes it's type of topics that we hit every 2 weeks, every 3 weeks. But one question that I had, we talk about, obviously, Ben Olsen has all the reason to complain of, like, he looks at his depth chart, he looks at his team sheet, he doesn't have anybody, and then you look and they're like, why are you bringing injured players? Like, I can't use those guys too
now, bro.
Right, especially now, as whatever happened with Ponce, whatever's happened with Escobar. Those are new injuries to the list, to the, I guess, MD Anderson FC team here. But at the end of the day, like, my question to you is this one, Chris. You saw they bring in Ben Olsen. Well, let's take that back. They bring in Hector Herrera, right? And they want to build this team around a top. And this is not mean Mexican American. This is me seeing what it is, right? Hector being one of the best players in the world at the time, playing for Atletico Madrid, winning championships. You see him, he can play pretty much. At the time, he was still in pretty good form. He's kind of dropped since he left to Toluca. He doesn't get to play as much, but they build this team around him. It looks like it's working, right? It brings fruits year 1, year 2, same thing. They fall short in the playoffs. It's difficult. I had a conversation with someone. It's like, people are like, oh, they need to win the MLS Cup. It's like, dude, there's 30 other teams, 29 other teams doing the same exact thing. It's difficult. It really is. It doesn't happen that often. There's teams that haven't done it. They have way better players than the Dynamo have, and they can't do it. So, they've had longer time. We're looking at UFC Dallas. Get one. Come on. But my point, we'll finish with this, Chris, but why have this, like, so far it looks like they're steering away from that equation that worked for them, right? Getting this veteran captain guy with a bunch of character, right? We knew
Yeah.
Hector Herrera, on the field, off the field, he just looked like the guy. We'll leave his personal life out of the way, but he just looked like a guy that he commanded, and he was very like, you knew he was a leader, right? And they say, like, you don't need, not everybody that, you don't have to have an armband, captain armband, to be the captain or the leader, but
Yeah.
you knew this guy was, with it or without it. Why have
100%.
this story I feel like they're moving away from that when it worked. Do you think, and that's where the question is, do you think that they should continue doing that? Like, maybe bring, kind of like what Miami's doing, right? Miami's bringing another guy in his prime, and Rodrigo, can think of his last name
The
now,
ball.
De Paul. um he's coming in and kind of being a replacement in some sense, to some of the guys that they had, right? Whether it be Busquets retiring, or eventually Luis Suarez retiring, like another big name player, talented player. Why Houston didn't just keep up with that? I understand it was pricey, but they got him in a free transfer too. It's not like to spend money on him. So I don't understand. What do you think? Do you think that it's important for them to keep that successful equation, or is moving away from it altogether a better decision? And chat, let us know too what you guys think about that. Sorry, not the chat. Bayou Banter. Sorry, Bayou Banter. Get in here.
Come on, chat, Bayou Banter. I think it's hard to predict, because you have to get on the mind of, there's so many factors, right? You have, the ownership, and then you have what the GM wants to do, and then you have what the coach wants to do, right? There's so many different factors, and you kind of have to break it down, between each one, right? I think the ownership and maybe the GM would like to be more of the selling type kind, and I think that's what they're going for. If you look at a lot of the D2 signings, which are the ones that are supposed to, explode, go into the first team, create value, and then be sold, a Mikael type of thing, right? The Mikael business plan, I guess we can call it like that. Just get him, bring him D2, not a really known guy, but that maybe he has quality, focus a lot on the analytics part of the game. The guy's going to give you a lot of benefit or return on investment, and that you're going to develop him, whatever that means, and turn him into an MLS player. And then from there, hopefully he does great, and then sell him off. And I think those are a lot of the guys that they're counting on. When you look at Exarsu, when you look at Valverde, when you look at Pedro Cruz himself, Andrade now. I mean, it's a lot of guys that they brought from South America. I mean, Tomas, the new Argentinian kid, they're getting a lot. And well, those are the guys that they're bringing from other countries. But when you look at homegrown kids, you're looking at Daniel Barrett, like a bunch of 15, 16-year-old kids,
Sebastian Rodriguez,
Diego, maybe, it's just a lot of guys that are,
there's a lot of very good talent there is,
and they getting way younger. I mean, this is going to be the year, this probably the second year in a row that the Dynamo those fields like the youngest starting 11, in average. So it's one of those things that, I think they're thinking about that. Maybe they did think about Ponce being that guy. Who knows?
I would disagree with that. I don't think.
No, yeah. Because I think we saw Chacha as the captain of the Mexican national team, and
right.
I think he was also the captain. I mean, he was the captain.
Yeah,
of
he
Benfica.
was the captain of Porto. Yeah, he was the captain of Porto. He was the
Porto,
captain for a little bit for Atletico Madrid at times.
So
I mean,
the guy, he demanded presence, especially being a captain of a national team. That's extreme right there. You literally have a whole country on your back.
I still think that they should bring a Mexican player, and whether it be that moving the needle, I don't think it's gonna. I mean, they already did it with Hector, and nothing really happened with Hector. But I feel like bringing somebody from the national team or from a national team, right? But obviously one from the region. Yeah. It brings something different, right? I mean, who wouldn't love to get, a captain from Italy, or, a captain from the Netherlands, or whatever it may be, but it's difficult. And yet Fire Will says Alexis Vega,
bro,
dude,
Alexis Vega,
if we can get Alexis Vega, However,
That would be the dream. Even me, that I don't really follow Mexican soccer,
yeah,
I know who Alexis Vega is just because of
yeah.
what he has done lately. And
The
yeah,
only
he would
the
be
only thing, I
amazing.
mean, especially right now, he's been on fire. Obviously,
Yeah, that
helping
too.
Mexico win the Gold Cup, winning with Toluca after coming back from Chivas. I mean, the guy is no one can deny his talent. Now, outside the pitch, that's when it gets a little tricky.
I
And
yeah, sorry, I
yeah,
disagree with Dago in the last comment.
yeah.
But not because of the whole spit situation. I think the spit was like a good reason, not a good reason, but it was just there.
No,
But
I think
when you
yeah, I
look
think
at
that was like the
just
end of it. It was like they had already made
yeah,
their mind, and
yeah,
that just I was like, dude, when we needed you the most, and
yeah,
again, a lot of that has to do with a lot of the personal issues. You can just see
that
the
too. Yeah,
frustration he was going in and out of, like, outside of the pitch. But no, you just need a player, like I said, somebody that can be a captain. They can be
character. and
yes,
and that's one of the things that we question about Arthur, and we're not saying he's a bad guy or whatever it may be, because he's an amazing person as a person. When we see him at the back of the house, locker room, he's always very attentive to media. He can always stop and ask answer questions, stuff like that. But we just lack, what to us, obviously outside and kind of watching in, it just seems like he lacks that.
yeah.
He looks like he's a leader. He does have
And
experience,
the
MLS
closest
champion,
the
but
closest one that would be a
explosiveness.
captain would be Sviatchenko for sure. Would
Yes,
be the
but
but
he's
even
injured.
him, even him, he has the lit his leadership is shown by his professionalism, if that makes
Yeah,
sense. Like, he's a guy that whether you win or lose,
yeah,
draw, he's gonna come and talk to the media. He's gonna give the
yeah.
face to the fans. He's gonna be the one to talk. He's the one pushing and stuff. But it was different with Hector. A player like Hector characteristics. It's not like he always made
But
himself available to media.
yeah, but also
By
with Eric, the only thing about Eric, or the thing about Eric, is that you can't be a captain if you're not on the field or the bench. You
right
know what
now,
I mean?
yes, of course,
So what's the
yeah,
point of you being a face of the team or the face of the
yeah.
group, which he is? I mean, he's always on their social media and stuff like that. But I mean, when was the last time Eric played meaningful minutes? When was
Yeah.
the last time we talked about Eric at all?
Yeah.
Just when he gets injured, like I honestly sometimes I forget he's on the team,
Yeah.
and
No,
that's no diss to him, but
and that's and it's a little unfair in the sense of, like, obviously this is a recent thing for him, right?
oh yeah,
We
yeah,
knew
yeah,
that
of
he was
course.
gonna be injuries as something that he was kind of dealing with.
It's bad luck too, right? Like
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
not blaming
yeah.
him of being
But no,
injured,
but
but that's
what I'm
just the
talking about, like,
situation.
you do need somebody with just that experience of playing in big games, and playing, whether you've been playing again, Hector played with Porto in many, like, Champions League games. Porto being one of the best teams in Portugal. We talk about those leagues that have two teams. I mean, that's it
Yeah,
right there, right? Benfica and Porto are the
basically.
ones playing.
Yeah,
He was with Atletico Madrid when Atletico Madrid won the La Liga, which doesn't happen that often, right? It's
yeah.
always Barcelona and Real Madrid. So we understand there's not many Hector Herrera out there, like, players like him, but I feel like you needed to kind of stick with that. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like you needed to find a way to bring players like him, and it could have been a Keylor Navas.
Yeah.
It could have a midfielder would be ideal, but at the end of the day, like, I think you just need a little bit of character, man.
You know what? You know what I was thinking? Hector Herrera was the captain at Real Madrid, which had Simeone as the coach, right? I
Yeah,
forget his first name,
uh,
but Simeone, El Cholo
Diego,
Simeone, Diego, yeah, El Cholo
yeah,
Simeone. Yeah, he's a fiery coach, right? It's a coach that he was a player. He's a coach. Most coaches are ex players, but he also had a career of his own. So he translated his fiery career into a fiery coaching, and then he kind of translated that to like Hector Herrera or whoever his captain was. And I think now Ben Olsen needs a guy that basically mirrors him in the field. And that's why we a lot of times see Escobar as that guy,
huh.
because not only Escobar is fiery in the field,
And
but we also see him outside of the field.
well,
He's
and it's
like
funny
that
that you
too.
mentioned that, because how many times did we see a game end and the first people that went and, like, hugged it out was Ben Olsen and Hector Herrera? How
Yeah.
many times have we seen him do that with Arthur?
because you see that, because you see that fireness, right? I
Yeah.
think they, even though maybe the language barrier might have been there, who knows? I don't know how good the English is for Hector and how good the Spanish is for Ben, but they had the same like fiery passion when it came to the game.
And
I'm
they
not
had a
saying
lot of
Hector doesn't,
correlations. Like
but
obviously outside of the field, I think their kids played in the same
yeah,
team,
that
and
helps.
but it just you just saw it like it like you said, it clicked. I feel like Hector, with his experience, with the talent he had, he was able to implement the style
You have
that
to
Ben
match the
wanted.
energy.
And right now,
That's what
nobody
counts.
has that. Yeah, Escobar is another guy that would be fantastic for sure. But I mean, yeah, you're right. He's a little hot tempered,
But
and
it's crazy though, because Escobar, whenever he has worn the armband, he chills a lot because he knows his
yes,
responsibility
yes, yeah.
as like the captain of the team. I don't know if you guys have noticed that,
And I
but
feel like Escobar gets a bad rep. I mean, yeah, we like joked around the beginning of the episode about how many yellow cards he gets, but he for the most part, if you really see him, like he plays to the edge,
he
right? He
plays on
plays
the
the
edge.
limit,
Yeah,
but he's not a dirty player. He's just a guy that it's gonna 50-50s. He's gonna go all out on them. But he's not a guy that's going with his cleats up or elbows, or
yeah,
he's not a dirty player by any means. Now, can he lose his temper? Yeah, but a
always.
lot of the times that when he's losing is because honestly he has a reason for it. Like
Yeah,
usually
most of the
he's
time, yeah.
right. Like this yellow card that he received, he didn't even touch the guy,
Yeah,
and he gets a
yeah.
yellow card, and he
Well,
keeps telling
it's
that,
because of that, because
yeah,
he's always so on the line that sometimes the ones that go his way, you're like, I don't know, but
yeah.
that's just because the intensity that he plays at all
Well,
times.
Christian and the Bayou Banter, we're an hour and 20 minutes in, man. What are your final thoughts, man?
Final thoughts: LA should be a win. I'm gonna say it's gonna be a win. I think McGlynn gets on the board again. I think they'll probably take care of Ponce, and we'll see either Toyosi. I don't think we'll see Toyosi. I think we'll see Siegel. To be honest,
Mm-hmm.
I think he fits the game model a little bit better. Um, but it's gonna be interesting. And then also just to kind of tell everybody on the Bayou Banter chat that we're gonna talk more Leagues Cup next episode, since because it's gonna be the Monday right before Leagues Cup. So I think it
Yeah.
would be a really good. We can talk about the LA game, but it's gonna be a dedicated more to Leagues Cup. So then we can talk about it a little bit more. Also, I was gonna tell you, Rudy. I guess we'll put the invitation out there, but we can have Cesar since he's very well versed
Yes,
in
yes,
Liga MX.
yeah.
So we'll ask him, see if
And
he's available.
somebody, a new person that I hadn't seen, Trick Split Gaming. He talked about the PK against Vancouver. That's one thing that I was thinking too. I wonder, they had kind of mentioned about a rule of like if the goalie touches it, then that's kind of like dead ball. I kind of agree
Oh
with
yeah,
that.
yeah.
I'm okay with that happening if that's the case. If it kind of pushes, then I mean that's just kind of like a
Yeah.
thing, right? Especially in the scenarios.
I'm split. I'm split.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
split on this.
I'm kind of both, because obviously, like if your team is the one scoring, like you don't want that. But
Yeah.
if it happens more often, anyways. And then
Yeah, I saw an argument. Sorry, let me throw 2 cents in there, because I did see an argument from a guy that I was like, goalkeepers get a lot of shit now, in the sense
Yeah.
that now they have to be on the line at least 1 foot. They can't move till the guy kicks it. They can't talk to the player. It's like, what do you want them to be, like a robot? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, why?
Yeah.
What happened to free speech, man? Like he can't like taunt. Like that's the whole point of the game too. Like get in their heads, get in their mind. Like
Yeah.
they can't do anything. So this would be a good plus for goalkeepers, but also at the end of, I was like, it's so weird.
Yeah.
But
People can mention Koke. Koke would be a good one. Saul would be a good one as well. Both of them from Atletico Madrid. Not that that means anything. Both of them Spaniards. It'd be interesting to see. They're kind of older, especially Koke is a little like 33 years old, so it's kind of
damn, bro,
a little on the edge. Yeah, I don't know if you
That's
need
crazy.
somebody. I think like you need to look for 29, 30. Somebody that has the experience, but and then one last thing. Someone mentioned Bond. I think it was Madeline, about him being like the guy, and there was rumors of him going to Saudi out there on Twitter. I probably not happening. I mean, he just
Damn.
landed, but
No,
but I mean,
I'm saying damn
if
because Bond is not gonna get the bag.
yeah, no, exactly. Like it's like unless they come, saying, I mean, 20 million for them is like 10 cents to us, probably, right?
100%.
Yeah, 100%. But man, it's been a fantastic show, guys. I know it's been a little longer than normal. There's a lot of information, obviously, a lot of games happening. we'll hit on Leagues Cup next week on Monday. Hopefully, there's no games on Monday for them. So
people, if you're in the chat, please give us a little thumbs up if you haven't yet. I know we have more people watching than the thumbs up on the video. And then if you haven't yet, please subscribe to the channel. We're trying to get to the 500. We're almost there. We're knocking on the door. So if you haven't yet, please do us a favor of liking the video and also giving us a subscribe.
We truly appreciate it. And then also, if you listen on the podcast the next day, like me, I tend to listen next day stuff. Obviously give us a review there. If you check it out on there. It's funny because, like I always say, I'm kind of new to YouTube now. I watch a little bit of YouTube now, live, especially.
Life on YouTube.
No, I can't unless I have to. Hey, how do you change a tire? Like how do you like those how-to videos? Then yes, of course. But with that being said, I feel like I was going to say something else, but you know what? I'm blanking. Yeah, we'll talk Leagues Cup. Obviously, the game against Galaxy, we'll figure out if we got it right. We both believe it's going to be a win. I didn't even say a result. I'm going to say 2-1 Dynamo. And hopefully, all right, 2-1 Dynamo. We'll go with that. And hopefully I remember enough to make it into the article for predictions. 2-1 Dynamo.
Usually change it anyways.
Yeah. Well, I've been trying to be consistent.
I usually change it just because we get new information, from Dynamo Stats. Shout out to him. We got to meet him this last Sunday in person, even though he's been part of the group for a little now. So yeah, we get statistics from him. We get, ratings from Joey. I was blanking on him, and then Dustin also.
He's been gone for so long, we don't remember his name anymore.
Who is that man?
That one guy, that drummer, the nerd Jr. guy. Somebody always say the stats guy. They're like the nerdy stats guy. That guy. But Chris, man, tell the people how they can connect with us.
Yes, don't forget, guys, BayouCitySoccer.net is the website. Check us out over there. That's where we have everything that we do. Literally, we drop articles every single day, so check us out there. Usually Dynamo-Dynamo 2. So go give us a follow there. Just check us out on the website. If you haven't yet, go follow us on our social media. We're on Instagram, we're on Facebook, we're on X, we're on Blue Sky. So check us out in all the social media things that we do over there. Don't forget, if you haven't yet, go check out Ugly Guppy at uglyguppy.com. They're the ones that provide us with the beautiful gear that we wear to the games, like Rudy's hat. Don't forget to, if you're in the stadium, go get some corn from Elotes Bravos. Those are our sponsors as well. And if you need any soccer stuff, cleats, shin guards, anything jerseys, go check out We Got Soccer, WeGotSoccer.com. They have 2 locations in Houston, and they have huge stores. So go check it out. You literally find almost everything that you may need for a soccer game. If you're a dad, if you're a parent, player, or a coach, so check them out there. And as always, BayouCitySoccer.net, the house or where Houston soccer lives.
Yeah, and just a final thought here. Shout out to everybody that participated in our giveaway. 100%. Obviously Jose won it. He took his mom to the game, man. I don't know if she was a big fan, but it looked like they enjoyed it. He told me they did. That. So we'll have more of those coming our way. You're going to what? Y'all going to podcast? Oh, yes. We need to. It's just way too many games lately, Jeff. But we need you. When we go up there, we'll give you like a week advance, and we want everybody that's here commenting to make it out there just to make us feel special, right? And we'll charge $5 an autograph, $10 a picture for Chris. No, I'm kidding. Yes. Hey, somebody has to put kids through school, man. What's up?
College is expensive. I got 4 of them.
No, we would love for everybody on here, the Bayou Banter, to make it out and hang out with us when we do a live recording from We Got Soccer here shortly. But with that being said, don't forget to hold it down and keep it forever orange. We'll see you next time.